Hi there, I'm Ember, one of the co-directors of the North Country Comic Con in Watertown, New York. We created this show to give you a sneak peek of some of the amazing things coming to Watertown this summer. Recently, I sat down with Jake from Adventures in Ardia, better known as Roll for Sandwich, to discuss what he does, why he does it, and what might be in store for Nococon this summer. You're most famous for Roll for Sandwich. How did that get started?
Well, I was DMing my first campaign and experimenting with, different encounter tables and things like that, different tables that added some kind of randomness to our game. And at the same time, I had about a 1.5-year-old daughter at the time. And so I was putting out content related to the game I was DMing and some of the props that I made for my players and things like that. And then I was thinking about what other content I could put out while also watching my daughter full time during the day. And at that stage of life, there wasn't a lot of downtime except when she was in her high chair eating lunch. So big fan of sandwiches. I had a bunch of stuff in the house and decided, it'd be fun to make up some of these tables. And I could just film it while my daughter's eating lunch in her high chair and, put it up on TikTok and see if any of my 1,000 followers get a kick out of it or whatever. And so I did that. And from the first video, it just blew up. So started to do that, pretty much every day after that initially. And it just kept going up and up. And then I, the process has gotten more complicated and more involved since then, but that's basically where it started. So
yeah, it's surprising how many nerds out there dig interesting twists on D&D and other dice rolling and all kinds of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to be a bit of a challenge to keep things fresh, if you will, with sandwiches.
Mm-hmm.
How is it that you keep things going?
I mean, sandwiches. So sandwiches are probably my favorite food, and it's one of the reasons is because of how versatile they are. You have so many different places around the world that make their own types of sandwiches that have all different kinds of ingredients. And the definition of sandwich, is pretty loose, can be stretched. It's just things in between other things, So I have found I just try to keep the lists fresh. I try to put interesting things on the list and maybe things that aren't even necessarily in any sort of traditional sandwich. But that's part of what makes it interesting is, you don't know if it's going to work or not until you try it. And I just try to keep an open mind with everything that I do here, because whether it's a weird combination of two things that you normally eat or something out of left field that I've never tried before, you never know until you try it. So I think always keeping things fresh and not just having, the same ingredients for, 200 episodes or whatever, helps it stay fresh and helps it be interesting. So,
just off the cuff, what do you suppose is the most unusual sandwich you've created so far?
Oh man, there's been quite a few that have been off the charts. My favorite weird combination that I've had so far was episode 42. It had peanut butter. It was it was on some kind of white bread, and it was peanut butter, goat cheese, avocado, banana peppers, and kimchi mayo. And it ended up being fantastic. I really enjoyed it. It had that spicy mayo and that peanut butter came together to make kind of a Thai flavor. And I put the call out to some other accounts on TikTok that make sandwiches on the regular and said, am I crazy here or is this good? Like, can you guys repeat this and try it and get back to me? And it was pretty much across the board that it was surprisingly good. So.
That's really cool. It wound up being observational science, repeated and peer reviewed and such.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sandwich science. So, rumor has it you're planning on doing a sandwich related thing at Nococon.
Yes, the rumors are true. I will be doing a live version of Roll for Sandwich on, I believe, the main stage. I think Panda Red is going to join us, and to his own peril. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, should be interesting. Of course, all depending on what ends up being the sandwich of the day. Watch him end up with something like just tuna sandwich.
Yeah, I mean, I recently did a video with Sophia Lillis, who's in the new D&D movie, and it ended up being one of the most simple, plain sandwiches I've rolled in forever, which is probably good for her, being a good sport that she wanted to try it. But it could have been crazy, and it ended up being very tame for this show.
Yeah, well, that's the nature of the roll of the dice. Yeah, fun stuff. So, what other stuff do you have coming up in the future?
I'm going to be speaking at Elizabethtown College in Pennsylvania at the end of April. I'm going to be at Gen Con this year. I'm putting out a set of custom dice pretty soon. That'll be available for order on my merch store and hopefully available by Gen Con. And then also I can't say for sure yet about the specifics of it, but I'm going to be partnering with a studio that's going to be at Gen Con with a game that they're putting out pretty soon, where they're going to have a promo card available at Gen Con that is Roll for Sandwich related. So
neat.
That'll be pretty fun.
Yeah, that's a lot of cool stuff happening. So, of course, your channel started with D&D related stuff, and it's still D&D adjacent, but
right.
I don't know. How do you feel about the sandwich phenomenon overall? Do you feel like it's a great thing, or does it feel like it took you off track from your first love of D&D and so on?
I really like it. I think it allowed me to bring more of the things that I love to my channel and create something that was unique, versus, there are a lot of channels out there that just post, what's the best paladin build or whatever. There's a bunch of D&D content out there that you can get that pretty much is the same thing. And it's, a lot of it's really good, but I didn't necessarily want to be somebody just posting D&D memes or whatever. I really found something that is unique, that is different, that is a fusion of multiple passions of mine, which allows me to connect with a broader audience than just the D&D audience, which is great. It's gotten me to be able to meet all kinds of people and connect with tons of different types of people from all over the world. So yeah, I wouldn't change a thing. I'm really happy that I just had this idea and that it's taken off the way it has. So yeah, no regrets.
Yeah, it's very, very cool. Yeah, your reputation actually precedes you considerably. I've spoken to a number of people who aren't even on TikTok, and they've heard of you because it's such a different thing. So hey,
that's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. Before we go, though, for the 2 or 3 people out there who aren't familiar with you yet, until Nococon, where can people find you?
You can go to rollforsandwich.com, and that will link you to all of my socials and anything else that I got going on.
Alrighty, Mr. Jacob, thank you so much for joining us today, and we look forward to seeing you in June.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you all so much for watching. Please take a moment to hit that subscribe button, because we have so many more interviews coming up with guests and other featured creators as we count down the days to Nococon 2023. Tickets are on sale now, so be sure to get yours, and we will see you this June.